Hello and welcome to today's episode of Canndid Conversations. I'm Kieran Bowden, your host, and today we're speaking to Martin Schofield, the CEO of Retail 24/7. If you recall from the last episode, we introduced our investment in Retail 24/7 as an exciting advancement in the Barrow McCann journey. So great to have you here with us, Martin, and let's get into it.
Hi Kieran, great to be here.
So Martin, what I'm really interested to hear about partially today is what are the data demands of modern retailers?
Good question, Kieran, thanks. I think the challenges we've always had in retail is that the basic data needs are fairly fundamental and should be fairly straightforward. But we've all seen time and time again that actually we make a bit of a mess of it. Data is inevitably in spreadsheets or disparate systems and causes us problems. We end up having 5 different definitions of markdown, 6 different definitions of sales, and people using spreadsheets left, right and centre. So it's all about the basics of retailing that are required.
Okay, so isn't the answer then to try and pull all of that data into a single system, an ERP if you like?
Yeah, and I've through my career in retailers and working with and for retailers, it's been the case. We've always looked at ERPs. I've seen many solutions attempted to be implemented. I'm sure you have too. We inevitably see lots of failure and wasted expenditure. I guess my fundamental belief, and I think the industry is coming around to the same thought process, is that ERPs are jack of all trades, for want of a better expression, and we see that the retailer's need is often absorbed into a general system that tries to be everything to everybody. So what we've tried to do is focus back on those basics we talked about. Single view of stock, sales, customers, all those very fundamental things that retailers need to operate.
Why just to interrupt? So why do these ERP projects fail? Do they fail?
Yeah, I guess it's. I'm not the font of all knowledge on ERPs, but the ones I've seen and been involved with, we end up inevitably, as you know, looking for systems to do exactly the same processes we operate today, and fairly quickly you end up with a solution that you bastardize to your own needs, for want of a better expression, and you end up in a project that takes a number of years, certainly extended numbers of months, costing you fortune, and you're striving to get back to the level of functionality you enjoyed in the first place. So really it's about ERPs being too slow, too generic, and not really allowing for the retailer's dynamic world.
And in the time it takes, you talked about it taking a long time. In the time it takes, by the time you get the end of it,
yeah, it's time to start again. I think the basics of retail, to reiterate, stock, sales, customers, and to address that and allow the fact that outside of the basics, retailers are constantly looking for the next bright shiny thing. That we're always having to adopt to the changing demands of the consumer. The consumer's attention span is diminishing. There are new payment methods, new ways of interacting on loyalty schemes every day, and for retailers to keep pace with that change, you need systems that are adaptive and can adopt that technology as soon as it's available.
So what does that mean in terms of how we navigate that kind of chaos then? Because there's push and pull in both directions, all technology, consumer demands. How do we navigate that chaos?
I think it's that 2-stage approach, as I tried to allude to it. It's basically the underpinning foundations, sales, stock, customers, are constant, and we should really protect that data. We've got the power of modern compute and cloud computing that lets us analyse data at pace and in vast volumes. We'll come on to the AI thing shortly, but the fundamental of keeping that data protected and then just acknowledging the rest that it's potentially throwaway. We want to take advantage of what we think the consumer will want today. So protect the basics, keep the foundation safe, acknowledge that the rest is, we'll use the word chaos, but it's slightly unkind, but it's adaptive.
So what we're saying is actually the quality of the data is the most important thing. Yeah. How you then slice and dice it, if we use that phrase, is actually stuff that modern technology can help us with.
Yeah, my background is technology, and the pace of change and the power available today is fundamental. It's vast. The AI that's changing daily and its capability, the power of being able to analyse millions of transactions at speed and come back with results that would take an army of manual people, albeit 5-10 years ago, to achieve the same result, means we can start to do clever things. And clever things based on sound foundational data is where we want to be. But historically, you've got data in spreadsheets, data that's at best representative rather than accurate, and that needs to change. We need to get the basics right.
Okay. So just moving on from that, how do you find engaging with retailers and getting in their diaries these days then?
Yeah, the number of things that retailers are dealing with is ever changing. Priorities are changing. The volume of work that we're seeing that the clients we work with and aspire to work with is growing daily. But the key thing we try and be as R247 is to say that, acknowledge the fact that we're being hired as experts. If what we did was simple, was something they could do themselves or had the time to do themselves, then what worth are we? So we are adding value as experts, and I guess we shouldn't be afraid to act in that capacity. So challenging process, working with the retailers to understand the process they have, making sure that it's as efficient as possible tends to be the pitch we make, and once we get in front of the right people, that resonates. And as soon as we are able to demonstrate credibility and show that we are working with their best interests at heart, then that gives us the interaction we're seeking.
I guess the emphasis is also on them getting in their head that they need to acknowledge the fact that it is chaotic and it needs order bringing to it.
No, absolutely. I think retail would agree. I probably need to find a new word. Chaotic is potentially insulting, but it's not meant to be. It's actually, the nature of retail means we are very adaptive to change and embrace change, and is fundamentally a part of what we do. So the fact that our IT needs to be able to cope with that is the basics, and something we forget. Time and time again we've seen legacy architecture, legacy systems that end up being a blocker to change and growth. And very quickly departments will use their own spreadsheets, their own variations of the same spreadsheet, and data's just not there and accessible for the group to do its job. So we need to get beyond that, and it's back to, again, the thought process of having that fundamental data in place before we do any clever stuff on top of it.
Excellent. Well, I've really enjoyed talking to you today, Martin. Thanks for your time. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the conversation too.
Yeah, look forward to growing and bringing on the Barron McCann services and going from here.
Excellent. Thanks, Martin.
Thanks.